Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my JavaScript series. I hope you're doing great and learning JavaScript consistently. In our previous video, we learned how JavaScript selects HTML elements using different DOM selection methods like getElementById, getElements by class name, getElements by tag name, querySelector, and querySelectorAll. Today, we're going to learn the next important topic in DOM manipulation, changing content. Once JavaScript selects an HTML element, it can change the content displayed on the web page. This is how websites display welcome messages, update scores, show notifications, change button text, and update user information without refreshing the page. In this video, we'll learn what is changing content, why changing content is important, innerHTML, innerText, textContent, practical coding examples, outputs, real-world examples, common beginner mistakes, and interview tips. So let's get started. Section 1. What is changing content? Changing content means updating the text or HTML inside an existing HTML element using JavaScript. Before JavaScript can change anything, it first selects an HTML element. After selecting the element, JavaScript can replace its existing content with new content. This allows websites to update information instantly without reloading the page. Section 2. Why changing content is important. Imagine you're logging into Instagram. After logging in, instead of showing login, the page immediately displays, "Welcome, John." How did that happen? JavaScript changed the content. Imagine you're playing an online quiz. After answering a question, your score changes instantly. Why changing? Because every modern website updates content dynamically. That's why changing content is one of the most important concepts in DOM manipulation. Section 3. Now let's learn our first method for changing content. innerHTML. As the name suggests, innerHTML is used to get or change everything inside an HTML element. It can change not only plain text, but also HTML elements like headings, paragraphs, buttons, images, links, lists, and many other HTML tags. Unlike some other methods, innerHTML understands HTML code. If you add HTML tags using innerHTML, the browser creates real HTML elements instead of displaying the tags as plain text. That's why innerHTML is one of the most commonly used methods for creating dynamic web pages. Syntax. The syntax is very simple. Element.innerHTML equal to new content. Let's understand it. Element represents the HTML element that JavaScript has selected. innerHTML tells JavaScript to replace everything inside that element. On the right side of the equals sign, we write the new content inside double quotes. The new content can be plain text, HTML tags, or both. HTML example. Let's create a simple heading. H1 ID equal to title. Welcome to JavaScript. Here we have an H1 element with the unique ID title. JavaScript can easily select this heading. JavaScript example. Now let's change its content. Let heading equal to document.getElementById title .heading.innerHTML equal to welcome to DOM manipulation. Output. Before JavaScript runs, welcome to JavaScript. After JavaScript runs, welcome to DOM manipulation. The heading text changes immediately without refreshing the web page. Explanation. Let's understand what happened. First, JavaScript selected the heading using getElementById. Next, it used innerHTML to replace the existing content. The old text "Welcome to JavaScript" was replaced with "Welcome to DOM manipulation." The web page updated instantly because JavaScript modified the DOM. Another example using HTML tags. One of the biggest advantages of innerHTML is that it can insert HTML tags, HTML div ID equal to message, JavaScript. Let message equal to document.getElementById message. Message.innerHTML equal to inside H2 tag we write. Hello students. Output, hello students. Displayed as a real H2 heading, not as plain text. Explanation. Here, JavaScript selected the div element, then it inserted an h2 tag using innerHTML. Since innerHTML understands HTML, the browser created a real heading instead of showing the HTML code. That's why innerHTML is very useful when you want to dynamically create HTML elements such as headings, paragraphs, buttons, images, lists, links, tables, and cards. Section 4. Now let's learn our second method for changing content. innerText. As the name suggests, innerText is used to get or change only the visible text inside an HTML element. Unlike innerHTML, innerText does not create HTML elements. It simply changes the text that users can see on the web page. If you write HTML tags using innerText, they are displayed as plain text instead of being interpreted as HTML. That's because innerText treats everything as normal text. Syntax. The syntax is very simple. Element.innerText equal to new text. Let's understand it. Element represents the HTML element selected by JavaScript. innerText tells JavaScript to replace the visible text inside that element. On the right side of the equal sign, we write the new text inside double quotes, HTML example. Let's create a simple heading, h1id equal to title, welcome to JavaScript. Here we have an h1 element with the unique ID title. JavaScript can easily select this heading. JavaScript example. Let heading equal to document.getElement by ID title. Heading.innerText equal to welcome to DOM Manipulation. Output. Before JavaScript runs, welcome to JavaScript. After JavaScript runs, welcome to DOM Manipulation. The heading text changes instantly on the web page. Explanation. Let's understand what happened. First, JavaScript selected the heading using getElement by ID. Next, it used innerText to replace the existing text. The old text, welcome to JavaScript, was replaced with welcome to DOM Manipulation. Since innerText only changes text, no HTML elements are created. HTML, div ID equal to message, JavaScript. Let message equal to document.getElement by ID message. Message.innerText equal to inside h2 tag we write. Hello students, output. h2 tag, hello students. The browser displays the entire text exactly as written. It does not create a heading. Explanation. JavaScript selected the div element, then it inserted the text create a h2 tag hello students. Using innerText. Since innerText does not understand HTML, the browser treats the HTML tags as normal text. That's why the tags are displayed on the web page instead of creating an actual heading. This is the biggest difference between innerHTML and innerText. Section 5. Now let's learn our third method for changing content. TextContent. As the name suggests, TextContent is used to get or change the text inside an HTML element. At first glance, it may look very similar to innerText, but there is one important difference. TextContent returns all the text inside an HTML element, including text that is hidden using CSS. Unlike innerHTML, TextContent does not understand HTML tags, and unlike innerText, it does not care whether the text is visible or hidden. Syntax. The syntax is very simple. Element.textContent equal to new text. Let's understand it. Element represents the HTML element selected by JavaScript. TextContent tells JavaScript to replace all the text inside that element. On the right side of the equal sign, we write the new text inside double quotes. Like innerText, TextContent works only with text. HTML example. Let's create a simple heading, h1 tag ID equal to title. Welcome to JavaScript. Here we have an h1 element with the ID title. Now JavaScript can easily select this heading. JavaScript example, let heading equal to document.getElement by ID title. Heading.textContent equal to welcome to DOM Manipulation. Output, before JavaScript runs, welcome to JavaScript. After JavaScript runs, welcome to DOM Manipulation. The heading text changes instantly. Explanation. Let's understand what happened. First, JavaScript selected the heading using getElement by ID. Then it used textContent to replace the existing text. The old text, Welcome to JavaScript, was replaced with Welcome to DOM Manipulation. Since textContent only changes text, it does not create HTML elements. Another example, let's try inserting HTML tags, HTML, div ID equal to JavaScript. Let message equal to document.getElement by ID message. Message.text, content equal to h2 tag hello students. Output. Inside h2 tag hello students. Instead of creating a heading, the browser displays the entire text exactly as it is. Explanation. JavaScript selected the div element, then it inserted the text. Inside h2 tag hello students, using textContent. Since textContent does not understand HTML, the browser treats everything as plain text. It does not create an actual heading. Hidden text example. Let's understand the biggest difference between innerText and textContent. HTML example. Create a p tag ID equal to title. Inside a p tag, we write a word, hello. Create a span tag with style equal to display none. Inside a span tag, we write a word, world. JavaScript. Let text equal to document. .getElement by ID demo.textContent console.logText output hello JavaScript world. Even though JavaScript is hidden, textContent still returns it. This is the biggest difference between innerText and textContent. Section 6. Real-world examples of changing content. Now that we've learned innerHTML, innerText, and textContent, let's see where changing content is used in real-world websites and web applications. You'll be surprised to know that almost every modern website changes content dynamically using JavaScript. Let's look at some common examples. Example 1. Amazon. Imagine you're shopping on Amazon. When you add a product to your shopping cart, the cart count immediately changes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2. JavaScript updates the content dynamically. Example 2. Online banking. Imagine you're checking your bank account. After transferring money, your account balance updates automatically. The web page doesn't refresh. JavaScript simply changes the displayed content. Example 3. Weather website. Imagine you're using a weather application. After searching for a city, the temperature, weather condition, humidity, and wind speed all update instantly. JavaScript replaces the old content with new weather information. Example 4. Food delivery apps. Imagine you're tracking a food order. The order status changes from order confirmed to preparing, then out for delivery, and finally delivered. The web page doesn't reload. JavaScript simply changes the text displayed on the screen. Example 5. E-commerce websites. Imagine a product goes out of stock. Instead of showing Buy Now, the website changes the button text to Out of Stock. When the product becomes available again, the button changes back automatically. This is done by changing the content using JavaScript. That's why changing content is one of the most important concepts in JavaScript DOM manipulation and an essential skill for every front-end developer. Section 7. Common beginner mistakes. Now let's look at some common mistakes beginners make while changing content using JavaScript. Avoiding these mistakes will help you write better and more reliable code. Mistake 1. Forgetting to select the element first. Before changing content, JavaScript must first select the HTML element. If you try to use innerHTML, innerText, or textContent without selecting the element, your code won't work. Always remember, first select the element, then change its content. Mistake 2. Confusing innerHTML and innerText. Many beginners think both methods work the same way. They don't. innerHTML understands HTML tags and renders them. innerText treats everything as plain text. Using the wrong method may produce unexpected results. Always choose the correct method based on your requirement. Mistake 3. Using innerHTML for plain text. If you only want to change simple text, using innerHTML is unnecessary. Instead, use innerText or textContent. Reserve innerHTML for situations where you need to insert HTML elements such as headings, paragraphs, buttons, or images. Mistake 4. Forgetting the difference between innerText and textContent. Many beginners assume these two methods are identical. However, they are different. InnerText works only with visible text. TextContent returns all text, including hidden text. Understanding this difference will help you choose the right method for different situations. Section 8. Interview Tip. A very common interview question is, what is the difference between innerHTML, innerText, and textContent? Answer: innerHTML works with HTML tags and renders them. InnerText works only with visible text. TextContent returns all text, including hidden text, and does not render HTML. Knowing when to use each one helps you write cleaner, safer, and more efficient JavaScript code. Summary. Today we learned one of the most important concepts in JavaScript DOM manipulation: changing content. We covered what is changing content, why changing content is important, innerHTML, innerText, textContent, practical examples, outputs, real-world examples, common beginner mistakes, and interview tips. Now you understand how JavaScript updates web page content dynamically without refreshing the page. Outro. Now you have a clear understanding of JavaScript DOM changing content. In the next video, we'll learn changing styles in detail using the style property, practical coding examples, outputs, real-world use cases, and interview questions. If you found this video helpful, like this video, share it with your coding friends. Subscribe for more JavaScript tutorials. Keep learning, keep coding, keep growing. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.